My name is James Denning and I'm the Chief Evangelist for Automation Anywhere. And today I want to talk about driving business continuity with intelligent automation. But it's impossible to have a conversation about intelligent automation or pretty much any other aspect of business currently without acknowledging the elephant in the room, the COVID-19 pandemic. We worked with SSON to talk to businesses about the impacts they thought COVID-19 would be having on them. The first question we asked was, what would the impact be on your current global delivery operations? Unsurprisingly, over 80% of businesses were either moderately concerned or highly concerned. We then asked about the future. How did we think COVID-19 would have an effect on delivery operations in the future? About half of people thought that GBS SSO models, those shared service organisation models, would become increasingly digitalised. Another 25% thought that those models would become more important in general for the business, and only a very small minority thought that it would reduce the importance of shared services for businesses. Now, do we think the pandemic, COVID-19, is responsible for driving shared services towards being more digitalised? No. I think it's accelerated the process, but there's an inevitable drive towards digitising those shared services operations. And for me, there's no surprise at all. Automation brings many benefits. Traditionally, those benefits have been seen first and foremost as financial ones. It can reduce the cost of delivering those shared services, whether it's in finance, whether it's in procurement, whether it's in HR, in legal, all of those traditional back office shared services functions. It increases accuracy. It can increase morale within your workforce. If you take away that rules-based, drudge work, the repetitive work, that machine that needs its handle grinding, and get automations to do that, get computers to do it, and free people up to do things that people are inherently much better at doing, like coming up with strategies, refining those processes, being creative, talking to other humans, all things that humans can do much, much better than automations. But we've seen with the pandemic, we've seen business continuity become another key area where automation can help. We've seen businesses that have embraced automation be much more resilient in the face of COVID-19. Those digital workers can keep operating. There's very little disruption when your digital workforce is told it has to work from home. It's working from home anyway. Whereas moving your human workforce to work from home brings disruption. We also asked, is intelligent automation a tactical tool to fix a specific problem, or is it a more strategic, enterprise-wide competency? I remember asking that question 3 or 4 years ago, and about half of our respondents said it was a tactical tool, maybe 30% said it was an enterprise tool, and the rest were undecided. We've seen a big shift there. Around 30% of respondents today think that RPA, think that intelligent automation is a tactical tool, and a much larger proportion, 50 to 55%, think that it's an enterprise-wide tool. And for me, there's no surprise there. If you automate a single process, sure, that's tactical. But if you use automation across your entire business, you look at every single function, everything that everyone does, and you say, where can we take the robot out of the human? What is the subset of tasks and processes that we can and should automate? Those repetitive rules-based tasks and processes. Where can we migrate our human workforce to deal with those things that humans are much better at doing? For me, this is an inevitable shift. And if you apply that across a business, it's a strategic fix to a strategic problem. We've seen over the last few years the advent of native digital challengers who have disrupted many businesses. Whether it's retail, whether it's travel, whether it's consumption, fast-moving consumer goods, manufacturing. We've seen some legacy companies fall by the wayside. Woolworths, Blockbuster, Borders, because they've been disrupted by these new native digital challengers. The Netflix, the Facebooks, the Amazon, the Googles of this world. Now, what do all those companies have in common? They have this native digital approach. Any problem, any business issue that's put in front of them, they'll tend to fix by default with technology rather than by hiring people and throwing people at the problem. Intelligent automation gives a huge opportunity for those legacy businesses that have primarily people-first processes to retrofit that native digital approach. Can you become a native digital company? No, not really. It's something that starts when you start the company. Can you retrofit and become a digital-first company? enact that digital transformation we've heard so much about? Yes, absolutely. And automation, intelligent automation especially, can help you do that. Automation has helped us in several ways in this pandemic. The first is to actually help the fight against it, whether that's supporting medics on the front line with bed management, or taking away the admin tasks that stop those frontline doctors and nurses and other healthcare providers, healthcare professionals, administering care to their patients rather than doing admin. Automations can help there. Secondly, we can help on the front line of the research efforts to try and find a vaccine for COVID-19. We've seen Big Pharma for many years using automation in their research efforts. Things like pharmacovigilance, making sure you get the right information to the right people, regulators, clinicians, researchers, in order to accelerate researching new drugs, new vaccines. And COVID-19 is no exception. The other big place that automation can help is the new normal of working from home. How do you support your workers to be productive in a new and sometimes very novel environment? How do you provide the right systems management? There are massively increased demands on IT, with the advent of video conferences being the norm rather than face-to-face meetings, much higher demand on data being transferred to people's homes for them to work on there. And having your people, having your workers outside that safe office-based environment, that secure IT environment, gives opportunities to bad actors. So attention to robustness and security has never been more important. Also, compliance and governance. Privacy, security of data, GDPR, all of those things are changed when you have a predominantly working from home environment rather than an office-based environment. So to enable effective work from home, automating processes within business applications, productivity suites like Microsoft Office, Salesforce, CRM, ERP systems, remote sharing and collaboration, communications management, personal productivity, how can you use digital assistants to help you in your day-to-day work, always on access to systems, remote cloud management, making sure you have backups from people's remote computers, and employee location and communication management, data security, at home and corporate IT and asset management. All of these things enable effective work from home, and all of these things are things that we can automate. We then have to look at a responsible reopening of our economy. So workforce health management has to be one of the essentials. Shift management, shift scheduling, infection tracking, contact tracking, status reports. On the professional side, scaling your workforce both up and sometimes down, dealing with furloughing, looking at worker and contract status, assessing operational risk, looking at your vendors. What's the status across your vendor portfolio? Are they ready to supply you again? What's the status of your contracts? How do you sustain maybe a more virtual workforce? And at a corporate level, what are the government policies around COVID-19 that are going to impact on you? How does health department statistics affect your business? How healthy is your supply chain? What about product delivery? Are there impacts on that? There's a huge amount of disruption in all these things. And rather than distracting your workforce by saying, hey, you need to deal with this yourself, think about how you can use automations to provide a bulwark, automations to pick up that additional workload, leaving your team to do actually what it is they do for a living. Today, cloud matters more than ever. Ease of adoption, faster time to value, total cost of ownership. But in the grip of this pandemic, the ability to scale, business agility, letting people work from different places, the mobility of your workforce, access from anywhere, any device, always on access. All of those things are becoming more and more important. We've seen a growing list of cloud customers. We released our first cloud RPA platform last year, A2019. And what we've seen is over 75% of all of our customers have said it's a strategic priority of them to move their RPA platform into the cloud as soon as they can. And it's a well-trodden path. Look at CRM systems, ERP systems. Today, it's almost unthinkable that you'd have an on-prem CRM system because the cloud paradigm just works so well. Let me give you a couple of examples. One of our customers is a telco. And with over 10 million wireless customers, processing that daily customer correspondence was an enormous task. They needed 7 FTEs just to make sure that the correspondence went out in a timely fashion. The systems to do that had complex integrations with multiple sensitive back-end systems, for example, their customer relationship management and their provisioning systems. Now they're using RPA, intelligent automation bots, to handle that correspondence and interact seamlessly with the CRM systems and some of the other legacy systems in the back end. This is a great example for me of being customer-centric. One of the things you need to do when you're talking to customers at scale is make sure your communications with them are timely and accurate. If you're a telco, your customers have vital things they need to do with either the telephony or with the data, the broadband services you're providing them. If there's going to be an outage, you need to tell them as soon as you can and be very, very accurate about how long that outage is going to last for. Being told your broadband will be down for a few hours at some point next week, that doesn't cut it. Telling them your broadband will be down between 3 p.m. and 3:15 p.m. on this day, that's a much better and much more customer-centric message to have. The second example is WAM Brazil. Their challenge was to reduce manual processes in finance, tax and research departments across a widely spread number of offices, nearly 40. The solution for them was taking a cloud-native approach to this. They built and deployed their first bot within 10 days of being onboarded as a customer. They then scaled up. Cloud enabled them to develop, over the next few weeks, 15 more bots across 10 integrated systems across nearly 36 offices. The result was $3 million of annualized cost savings and 40,000 person hours saved by the end of 2022. As a responsible software vendor, we believe we need to help the community in the time of COVID-19. So we have free bots for business continuity and personal productivity. Come to our website and look for the Automation Anywhere Community Edition, and this is free for people to download and use right now. So I'll end on this. The three key messages here are: with business as usual being disrupted, technology needs to help businesses get back to normality quicker. We need to support the fight against the COVID-19 pandemic. We need to embrace the new normal of working from home. We need to help businesses become economically successful again. Cloud is ideal for this, that post-pandemic recovery and resiliency. So COVID-19 serving as an accelerator towards cloud and towards automation. Maybe in every cloud there is a silver lining. And last and by no means least, you can do this today. Come to our website, www.automationanywhere.com, download our free community edition and use it to support your business and to boost your own personal productivity working from home. If you have any questions, my contact details are right here, james.denning@automationanywhere.com. I look forward to hearing from you. Thank you very much.